And hello, everybody. Hello, hello. How are you doing? I do apologize for last night. I could not get my internet up and running. My wife had internet on her computer, but I didn't have internet on my own. Hello, East Coast Temple. How are you doing? Hopefully, everyone is having a good one. Today is still Friday night fights. If you call in, you do not, I repeat, you do not have to stick with what the subject is about, okay? Because I do understand that I was not live the other night, and being when I wasn't live, I still got to make sure you guys get your chance to call in. So on Saturdays, I'm going to make sure. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Yeah. I don't know. That's you, Penny Kirby. Everybody can hear me. My thing's going through the microphone well. Yeah, my stuff is good. You know, we have to address what goes on in the world. And everybody's doing all this. Israel is this and Israel is that, and how wrong Israel is. I'm going to address some of that as well, because some Christians have this hatred for Israel. Every time you post something, they always want to try to knock Israel down. If that's you, if you start that, don't be surprised if you get deleted and banned. If every time somebody want to point something out about Israel, and the only thing you want to do is point out the negative, well, I just can't let you say that. You know, you got no truth about Israel. Bye. See you. You know who you are. Because I went back and I looked at some of your comments, and they was right to delete and ban. They was right to do that. To say, Jamal, this is a troll. They were right to do that. And I thank my admins. I thank all my admins for all the hard work they do. Make sure I put this out. Join the conversation. And I'll be honest with you. I love President Trump. I love President Trump. I love President Trump. But you're not going to be throwing all these praises on President Trump, and then you got nothing but criticism for Israel. No, I'm not putting up with that. If that's what you want to do, no, you're not banned on you're not banned, Thy Templar, on Rumble. You was banned from that stream, not from that. And I looked at some of your comments. I understood why people were saying you was trolling. If everything you gonna say, every comment I make is something negative toward Israel, yeah, it's gonna end up pretty much the same. My admins were right. But we're not going to talk about that. Every time you turn around, they always want to say how bad Israel is. Have you ever seen how women are treated in Muslim nations? Have you ever seen how bad women are treated in these nations? This is horrible. This is horrible. I don't care if here in America yes, we do want to ban abortion. Yes, a lot of conservatives want to ban abortions. Yes, we do. we want to ban abortions. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting to ban abortions. But when you want to sit here, yeah, I'm looking right now. You're not muted. You're not muted at all, Thy Templars. You're not muted at all. So you should be able to comment on Rumble all you want. I'm looking at it right now. I wanted to make sure because I promised you that. One thing about me, I will keep my promises. You are not banned at all. You are not banned. You're good. You're good to go over there to Rumble and talk if you want. That's good. If you want to go to Rumble, you want to stay on Mind of Jamal Live. Now, so many of you ask me, how do I support the page? You don't have to have a lot of money. You don't. Just do a membership. A membership, $7 a month, $9, $7 a month to $5 a month. Wherever your favorite, that's where you like to go. For everybody who asks, Jamal, how can we support the page? Wherever you like to go, get a membership. You can get a membership now on Mind of Jamal Live. You can do super chats. You can do it there. You can do a super chat or live there. You can join a membership on Mind of Jamal Black Southerner, and the most important, you can go to Rumble and join there, which I love Rumble as well. So you're always there to use whichever one you want to do. But y'all, what's going on in some of these countries would make I hear all these liberal women complain about how bad they got it in America, how bad America is. And explain this to me real quick. Some people have to explain this to me. You can say nigga all you want. You can show videos of young black girls fighting in school, beating themselves halfway to death. They got no problem with that. Okay, this is something that got to be said. This is something that must be said. And I'm saying this as a Make America Great Again Trump supporter. And I'm talking about someone who is a die-hard Ron DeSantis supporter. This man is a Ron DeSantis supporter. Drill Sergeant John Burke, John Ross, some of y'all may know him. How come you got videos all on YouTube, all on Instagram, because we're talking about Instagram, where black girls are fighting each other like cats and dogs. Black women are fighting each other. The cold bunnies are going crazy. The cold bunnies going crazy all over Instagram. But John Burke get banned for this. See, this is what you get banned for if you offend the Islamic community. Don't y'all think this is wrong? This is how they're treated in Islamic countries. This is how Muslim women are treated in Islamic countries. See, it's a problem. You don't see this in America. You don't see this type of treatment to women in America. You don't see this treatment of women in Israel. You don't see this. But you see it in there. Look, they're taking their cell phones and recording this. This isn't, Jamal, this ain't 20, 30 years ago. This isn't 20, 30 years ago. Look, those are cell phones. Look, they're walking with iPhones and cameras. Look at that. This is something for them to record. Where is her brother? Where is her brother at? Where is her brother? Where is her father? But you will ban John Birkin for this, but you won't ban for black girls fighting in school like animals. But this is what I'm talking about here. This is what I'm talking about. And I got to watch the phone line. Somebody done called in, and I let me go on, switch them to the queue so they can talk, so they can go on and talk. We'll hold up for 1 second. I'll unmute you. I'm gonna unmute you in a second. Julio Lazar. This is how women are treated in Muslim countries. But people want to call in and complain about, people want to talk about Israel. People want to complain about Christian nations. People want to complain about America. Well, until we have public floggings like this, shut your mouth. Until we got public floggings like this in Florida for saying, you know what? We don't want abortion. Six weeks. That's it. Shut your mouth. And not one liberal woman will open up her mouth about this. But let me get this caller real quick. Caller, you're on the air. Julio Lazar, how are you doing?
What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Julio?
Hey, I'm it's scary, man. It's really scary. You know, this country has gone too woke, and I'm pretty scared for our kids.
Yes.
I'm a 39-year-old Hispanic man. I'm from New Jersey. I opened my eyes to a lot of stuff, and it's real scary, Jamal. And we need Trump back.
Let me ask you a question, Julio. Let me ask you a question. If you had a daughter, and you found out your daughter's husband allowed her to be treated like this, to be publicly flogged, like they do in Muslim countries, how would you react to your son-in-law and the man that beat your daughter like that?
Oh, you already know, Second Amendment.
Yeah, but you know what? And I'm going to say something, Julio, that may shock you right now. It has to come from us, not Trump. It has to come from us, the American people, saying we're not going to put up with this crap anymore. It has to come from us saying we want our lives. We don't want this. We don't want this. It has to come from us, Julio. So many people, and this is my biggest thing, Julio, and I'll let you have the last 45 seconds, Julio. So many people, so especially from our side, are waiting for Trump to save them. Well, Trump shouldn't have to come in and be in the lead. Trump should just have to fall in on a march we already doing. Something we already fighting and pushing up against. And so many conservative states where we can really push back, take to the streets, call for marches, call for the pushback to show that these states are rebelling against Joe Biden. Won't do it. The last 45 seconds is yours, Julio.
I agree with you 100%. We need to step up and show that we take the country back. We need to take the country back. Me personally, listen, I don't see color. Everybody's my brother. Everybody's my sister. And listen, man. You know, we don't do something now. I'm like I said before. I'm scared for our kids.
Well, all right. Is that all you got to say?
Yes, sir.
All right, that was Julio. Julio, thank you for calling in from New Jersey. That was Julio from New Jersey. Thanks for calling in, Mr. Lazalia.
Thank you.
All right. And this is the one thing that so many of us Trump supporters have to understand. It has to come from us. I remember having Make America Great Again rallies. I remember having Make America Great Again rallies. I remember speaking at Make America Great Again rallies. I remember doing all those things and people not show up. I remember people not, Keon's about to call in. Keon said he's about to call in. I remember people not showing up. People not coming to I will not come broadcast from your house, Jeff. Jeff Garlack said, Jamal, if I get a membership, will you come broadcast from my house? Jeff, no, I won't. But the problem with so many of us is we expect Donald Trump to do it all. No, he shouldn't have to do it all. He should not have to do it all. But so many people want him to do it so they won't have to do any work. A lot of people may not like to hear this, but sometimes Trump supporters can be a little lazy. Oh, we can be a little lazy sometimes. Oh, we can be a little lazy sometimes. Let me put this right here. Oh, God, why are you doing? I don't want you to get big. I just want you to get right here to this corner. Get right here. Get right here so when Keon call, I can see everybody. Okay. I just want to be able to see Keon when he calls. Get everything straight. But I noticed nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about what we can do before Donald Trump get there. You know, one of the things that make the Avengers so good, one of the things that make the Avengers so great is that you're already fighting before they get there. Before Donald Trump even show up to the scene, we have to already be there fighting. They who are already on the battlefield fighting. You know why? And some of you may not like this. Hey, Miss Mayor, how you doing tonight? Hey, Miss May, how you doing today? You know what make liberals so dangerous? They are already leading the fight what they want. The politicians just jump in with them. But the Democrat Party is already leading the fight. The Democrat Party, who you think was pushing toward gay marriage? It wasn't Obama. The Democrat Party and liberals in California were already doing it. The liberals in California was already pushing it. The liberals already wanting infanticide. Everybody keep blaming politicians. Your politician isn't really your problem. The politician is only the blood that's leaking from the womb. The politician shows you where the womb is at. The politician is the bullet entry. That's what the politician is all is. When you see people like Ilhan Omar and you see people like Rashida Tlaib, the problem is not just them. The problem is the people who voted for them, because the people who voted for them feel that way. You know that Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar are in Muslim sections that are just like that in America. They wear burqas, trash bags all day out there in the hot sun. See, that is the problem. That is the problem. And let me go on take this call. Let me go hold up. Let me go and start doing this. I'm gonna put Keon in the section, but I'm just gonna mute Keon real quick so I can go and take over. That's what I'm doing wrong. I'm right now I got it so I can see everything. But when Keon comes on, all I have to do is switch it over real quick and get it. Like, as soon as I tell Keon, boop, Keon, come on, I got it. So that way I won't lose people like I did the night before last when they're calling in. But the problem with so many of us Republicans, we're waiting for Donald Trump to do it all. We want Donald Trump to do it all. The reason why Donald Trump got weighed by so much is because we won't taking the load off him. Where was the protest? Where was the march? Where was the Make America Great Again shirts? You saw people more scared to wear a Make America Great Again shirt, a Make America Great Again hat, because they may offend people. You're hearing stories about silent majority. The silent majority is not effective. The silent majority wants to wait until election day to vote. And the silent majority will always get stopped by the loud tyranny. And what's going on, Keon? Keon, what's going on with you?
It's right on point. And oh goodness, just like when Jose had called in, I agree with him 100%. And but here's the problem. The problem is not just the future. The problem is it's already happening. It's already happening now. So the kids behind us, the future behind us, don't have to worry about it's not on their hand. It's on their hand, but the problem is right now is what's happening. So they ain't got to worry. They ain't got the future. It's going to happen. It's already happening in the future. The future is way ahead, but it's happening right now. And just like I spread to some of my Christian brothers and sisters, you know, they want to sit on their hand and wait. It's just like wait on Jesus. It's the same tactic when it comes to conservative as well. We want to sit on our behind. And so they want to sit on their behind and not do, get out there and do something. Okay, Jesus saying where's your faith? Nobody don't want to go out there and do nothing, you know, and that would kind of takes me off with not just conservative, but some of these Christians as well. Like, Jesus, you know, fix the problem. You need to come back because I can't handle all this what's going on down here. Okay, get out there and vote. We just had a voting 2 weeks ago, Jamal, in Charleston, and with the mayor Tackenberg. I made sure I took right behind us because the first election, when they had the first runoff, it was a tie. They're not happening. They had to say, okay, let's have a runoff. I made sure I took my behind back down again after I got off of work tomorrow and went out there and I voted behind out Charleston, because I didn't like what he did. He allowed to happen, and I don't think you remember. Y'all probably remember when Charleston been on the news, tearing up downtown Charleston and destroying the property. No, that do not fly. So I make sure I vote him behind out completely, and that was right there was just ticks me off about some of the Christians. What do you think about that?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, Keyshawn. I'm gonna be honest with you. That's all our fault. Them with them, that's the problem. So many Christians want to take that scripture. If you're gonna worry about it, don't give it to Jesus. Or if you're gonna be scared, don't give it to Jesus. Whoa, God never told you that. Just drop it in Jesus' lap and walk away. He never told you that, because some of that stuff God warns you about. He actually tells you in the scriptures, don't suffer as a busybody.
Exactly.
See, he tells people don't suffer as a busybody.
And here's another thing, Jamal. In the people government in the old days as well. And here's another kicker too, with the some of these females over here as well. You know, especially when it comes down to abortion. I'm sorry. Take that video that's showing. Take your behind over there. I bet you not even one on one. That's one day over there.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. You want me to tell you why? Because everybody depends on the United States saving their behinds. People in America depend on America saving their butts. See, it's easy to go and say, oh, I want the end. I don't like this right here. I want this to end. America's unfair. America's evil. See, it's easy to go say that. Excuse me. It's easy to go say that in a nation that allows you to say it. But look what happened to the Afghan women once the Taliban took over. They went back into that nation. Women who had jobs, they told them go home. They went to the people's house and saying, you don't need guns, give us your guns. And the people gave them over to the Taliban because they want used to freedom. But if you had some freedom loving Afghanistan, get away from my door.
Exactly. And I'm gonna say that before I leave this book right here now. Here's another thing, and I want you to correct me if I'm right or wrong. You cannot be a Christian and say you're a liberal and supporting and going against God's people, the Jews or Israel. That's a blessed nation and that's a blessed country. And you cannot be a Christian and sitting on your behind and taking you don't think God, Jesus looking at all that? You don't think his dad, father looking at that? What do you think about that?
See, here's the thing. It's called carnal-minded Christians. The Bible already tells us about carnal-minded Christians. What are carnal-minded Christians? They are Christians. There are so-called Christians who are called carnal-minded. There are people who worship the cares of the world, carnal-minded. But not Christians, but Christians is to be Christ-like. See, a lot of people like to throw stuff on Christians. You're a backsliding Christian. You are drinking Christian. No, you don't supposed to put nothing in front of Christian except I am. The only thing you supposed to put in front of Christian is I am, because the great I am is what you're acknowledging, that you are a Christian. And to be Christ-like, you ain't no drinker, you ain't no smoker. And for people need to say, tell the truth. I got the ways to come up. I have a ways to come up with. I have ways to come. I have things I got to do. Lord, don't take me now. Lord, don't come back now. Lord, I ain't ready. Lord, I know when a woman walk past me with some tight jeans on and a shirt, I'm going to be looking. Don't come back, Lord. Lord, I got mad on the job yesterday, threw my hammer, cussed the folk out. Don't come back, Lord. See, people don't understand. When the Lord come back, if you have spot or wrinkle, you ain't going. He can't make it any plainer. And the book tells you, the coming of the Lord is not a good thing. That means that's it. Heaven or hell. If you ain't got it wrapped up, yes, I'm going to tell you something. You would rather die before the Lord come back, because at least you know you got a chance all the way up to death till you close your eyes. Lord, forgive me of all my sins and iniquity, Lord Jesus. I know I repented, but I want to repent. And close your eyes and make it. You don't want him to crack that sky and you caught right there in what you doing. That's it.
Say it again. And so Jamal, I'm going to end on that note. And you have a blessed day. So praying for y'all going to get back in the house. And you know, and I'll going back and watch the show.
All right. So, at this point, these people are so much idiots. They act like they can't fix the house. All right, now talk to Kelly Kenyon. All right. Now, I'll be honest with you. Imagine if the Lord would have came back after I done called the people who working on my house idiots. Huh? Imagine the Lord come back while I'm sitting up there calling the people who working on my house a bunch of idiots. You think the Lord gonna be like, well, Jamal, that's okay. I understand. No, he's not. Lord, stay up there. Don't come down. Don't crack the sky. I ain't ready. Now, let me ask real quick. Just real quick, if y'all don't mind. I just want to know real quick. How many y'all can say in the comments, you ain't ready for the Lord to crack the sky and have judgment now? If that's you too, write in the comment section, I ain't ready. Let's see how many people willing to tell the truth. I ain't ready. I'm telling the truth right now. You know, I'm gonna type that right now on Mine of Jamal Live. I ain't ready. I ain't ready. I ain't ready, Lord. Don't crack that sky. I ain't ready. I ain't ready. Nope, don't. I ain't ready. I ain't gonna even sit here talking about some. Well, the Lord can come right now. I'm ready. The rapture may be imminent, but it ain't now. Remember, a day for the Lord is 1,000 years. So let's do some addition. If the day of the Lord is 1,000 years. If he say he coming in 6 hours, that's a quarter. That gives me 250 years. I'll be dead and gone. So, if the Lord say he coming back in a half a day, that's 12 hours for him. That's 500 years. So, I'll wait on the Lord. I'll wait on the Lord. I like East Coast to say, you go first. Okay. You ready anytime. Okay. Remember, no spot, no wrinkle, no sin at all. I ain't trying it. I ain't gambling that. Lord, take your time. Take your time, sweet Jesus. All right, I got somebody, Scott Bibler in the comments. Let's see, Scott Bibler just called in. Hey, Scott, what's going on?
Hey, Jamal, I love what you're doing. You're doing a great job. I'm so happy that I got a chance to call in.
Okay, what's going on, Scott?
Well, I mean, I'm confused here. I'm not sure exactly what topic we're talking about. I came in late into the show, and
Well, right now it's Friday night fights. During Friday night fights, it was supposed to be Friday night fights last night, but during Friday night fights, I couldn't get the internet to come working for my computer. It wouldn't come to my computers. So whatever it was messing up. But what I was originally talking about is the abuse Muslim women have in Gaza and all these Muslim nations. But people claim Israel is so bad. And American women got it so bad because you got some states here that has banned abortion, 6 weeks, like that. But they claim it's so bad here, but you got public floggings there. So my thing was all these women in blue states and all these blue men in blue states, they'll say, oh, how bad women got it, how bad. But nobody, and especially these free Palestine people, nobody will talk about this video that I show of the woman being flogged. And I don't know if you could see or not.
yeah.
Okay, but yeah, that's what I was talking about, Scott.
That's okay in their culture. That's okay. And in fact, when you become into womanhood, in fact, you are circumcised as a female.
Yeah, I think it's something about it's, oh God, I forget the word for it, but it was actually on an episode of Law and Order where a man, he killed this doctor because he was married to a Muslim woman and they dissected her clitoris and did something to her, so she basically wouldn't have sexual urges to feel pleasure. But he found out, and he was like, does she even have pleasure with me? And in the show, the grandmother had arranged this doctor to come from Afghanistan to do this technique on her, and he killed the man. He killed that man. He was like, you're not going to do that to my daughter. And he took his daughter from his wife because he was like, you got to promise me you're not going to do this to the daughter. And people seem to always criticize America. If you want to criticize America, you have every right. This is the United States of America. One of our freedoms is the right to criticize your government. But people ought to be honest when they're out there marching in the streets, free Palestine, queers for Palestine. Do you know what they will do to your hind paw if you are gay in Palestine? They will give you the rooftop view.
They'll stone you to death.
But that's
terrible.
but
It's
Scott, if you want
culture.
to, but Scott, it's Saturday Brawl. So whatever you want, if you want to talk about something else and question about something else, it is fine. That it's your time to ask what you want or bring attention to something. That's what I was talking about. But it's your time too, Scott. What do you want to discuss?
All right, well, you're aware of Sharia law then, obviously.
Yes, sir.
We don't need to go there. This whole thing between Palestine and Israel is just another distraction, really. First it was Ukraine, Russia and Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When this happened on October the 7th, then, oh my goodness, what? Ukraine what? Who?
I'm gonna tell you like this, Scott, and I'm gonna push back against that, Scott. I'm gonna push back against that. I'm gonna say why I'm gonna push back against that, Scott. I believe our order of responsibilities came about, and I use this for an example, Scott. Let's say, Scott, you are a plumber, not HVAC, because I'm HVAC. Let's say you was planning on spending money on a new deck and getting your new deck built. You want your new deck, that's what you're pushing. Your wife is fussing. No, 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 we don't need this. And you like, forget it, I'm going to put my money. You're putting your money into it. But your HVAC...
I know the trouble.
But your HVAC system just went out and it's 103 degrees and you ain't got no heat inside your house. I mean, no cold air inside your house, and it's gonna be that hot for a while, and your children are panting and sweating bad too. What's gonna dictate more important? The deck, because that's a project you want to do, or your HVAC, which is a project you need?
The needs, obviously.
And so when I say Israel, or let me backtrack. Let me backtrack on that one. Let's say you have a friend or someone you hang out with at work. You know, at work y'all talk and y'all see each other. You give him money for lunch. You give him money for gas, okay? Mm-hmm. But your first cousin needs money. Your first cousin, whom you grew up with and whom you trust, your first cousin, whom y'all go back, you remember your first cousin was born. You remember when your first cousin came over the house and y'all was playing. Who do you owe your loyalties to? The guy at work or your first cousin?
I'd say I lay my loyalty to the guy who paid me back.
Oh, dang, you ain't even going for family. You like, hey, whoever can pay me back. Dang. Okay, that's understandable. That's because I put it in the wrong aspects, because some people who are, we need to mind our own business. I wouldn't want people to be like, oh, Jamal, that's unfair. You gave Scott an unfair scenario.
That's a fair question, and I'll tell you why. Because I have family members who are POS, and you can't trust them with $1.
Okay.
So I mean, I've met strangers. I live in Utah, and
okay,
I think Utah is one of the most charitable states that I've been to in my travels. In fact, since I've been here, I've never left. And I've been here for 20 years now.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's nice. Human nature, I guess, is to err, right? We're
sure.
not given a guidebook except for the Bible to direct us in the correct path, right? So it's either like most people who don't know God, they're just living on intuition, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
And us Christians, those who follow the path of Christ, we know because we just give it up to God. And we let Jesus guide us. And I think it works for me. I hope it works for everybody.
And let me ask you a question, because this is what I was talking about earlier about President Trump and how so many Republicans and Christians, when President Trump came about and he showed that he was willing to fight, they just dumped it in his lap and sat on their hands. Yes, as Christians, we're supposed to give to Christ, but don't you believe, because the scriptures also tell you, don't just pray for someone. Works without faith without works is dead. So do you also believe that if you give it to Christ, you say, Lord, I got bills I have to pay, Lord, I need help. But don't you think also it's for you to get out there and work and try to find the job and pick up the overtime and extra needed to go pay for it to also help as well? Do you believe in that philosophy as well? Do you believe in that?
Yes, sir, most definitely. I believe if we have the ambition to strive to do better and do more for our community and ourselves, then we have it within ourselves to do that. Exactly. I have dabbled in so many different projects on the interweb. It's kind of a legacy to me, but it's all in good faith to do better for our community, to enlighten people so they're not just blinded by what the TV's telling them, but to go ahead and do their own research and learn something.
True. That is true. That is 100% true. That is absolutely true. But let me ask you this. Because, let me ask you this real quick, okay? Because I haven't heard anything about this case that happened. I looked to see a friend of mine named David Hessler. He's from Utah. A friend of mine, David Hessler, who calls in the show a lot. He's from Utah as well. There was an older gentleman that was shot in Utah because he had said he didn't like Biden, he wanted blah blah blah, kill Biden, whatever. That's what he said. He was, quote unquote, threatening him. They went and they shot that old man in his house in Utah. Have y'all heard anything else before you go? Just want to ask you this: have y'all heard anything else more about that shooting in Utah of that old man?
Yes, I actually have, on the day that Biden was supposed to come to Utah, which he did,
Mm-hmm.
The FBI went over to the gentleman's house and asked him to come out, which he declined. And it was all over threats that were made over social media about how he needs to dust off the 50 caliber sniper rifle because Biden's coming to Utah. And yeah, they didn't waste any time. They took him right out of the picture.
But have anybody heard, like, because I know the people in Utah was angry. I heard comments, people in Utah was angry. They wanted something done. They said this is unfair. Whatever happened in that? Whatever happened with it? Did anything come about? Did they investigate it and charge the people in those agents in Utah for that shooting, or it's just been out of sight, out of mind?
Well, right now it's out of sight, out of mind, but it's not really out of sight because there are people who are behind the scenes who are working on this, and it's like Mitt Romney, how he decided he's going to step down and he wanted younger people to come up and represent the government.
Uh-huh.
It's not by chance. I mean, we encourage Romney because he has links to certain nefarious cults, Mormon cults from Utah, that he should probably step down anyway because it's not doing him any good. It's a bad look.
But let me ask a question though. Hold on, Scott. Let me ask you a question because the people and the people in Utah are Latter-day Saints. That's the majority of the people. The faith in Utah is LDS, Latter-day Saints. So wouldn't you expect someone? Because I think Senator Mike Lee, he is also Latter-day Saint. And Glenn Beck, Latter-day Saint. Stu, Latter-day Saint, and Fitzy is Latter-day Saints. So wouldn't they not elect, even though how sorry he was, Mitt Romney, but wouldn't they not elect Mitt Romney being he's a fellow Latter-day Saint?
The waters are so deep down here with the LDS thing because it's not just LDS. LDS is Latter-day Saints.
Yeah, the Latter-day Saints.
Then you have the FLDS, which are fundamentalist Latter-day Saints.
Okay, I didn't know all that.
And then you have another fundamentalist group that is just Mormon. Okay. Because for whatever the LDS religion decided to take Mormon out of their thing and just replace it with Christ, which I don't see any problem with that. But the fundamentalists, they're the ones who are polygamists and they have more than one wife. They call it plural plural marriage.
Okay.
It it's a very touchy thing. Like the LeBaron Mormons have they're centralized in Mexico, and they have had conflict with the Mexican cartels down there, but they are also responsible for a lot of human trafficking. And Mitt Romney has direct family ties to the LeBaron Mormons. So that's why we encouraged him to just go ahead and step down.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know. Well, I want to thank you for the call, Spencer Scott. Thank you for the call.
Yes, sir.
And you enjoy your day, Mr. Scott.
You as well, my friend.
Bye-bye. All right. That was Scott out of Utah. Now, I want to get to you something else. It shows some people being freed. And real quick, just show y'all this. Those are people being freed from being hostages. You know, like I said, we about to talk about George Santos real quick, and it's a shame who took up for George Santos, Ed. We about to talk about him right now, but I just want to wrap up this part of the show. Next time people try to compare Israel and complain about what's going on with Israel, and Jamal, you are a Zionist supporter. Jamal, you ought to see the comments. I wish Miss Sin Napier was here tonight. Miss Sin will tell you. Miss Sin Napier will tell you. Ask Mr. Pete Larson. He sees some of the comments over there on Unapologetic Conservative Republican. He see them. You ought to see him. Jamal, or matter of fact, Jeff Hayes is also a moderator. Jamal, you are a Zionist. You Zionist. You Zionist. That's what they call me. But those women who don't like me, those women who hate me over there in those Muslim countries, don't ever talk about this right here. They don't ever talk about this. They don't ever have time to talk about this type of treatment. I don't get it. People don't talk about treatment like this. This is okay. He got an iPhone. He want to record that to show his wife, show his daughters. That's okay. He a beating them. Look at that. But they want to complain about Israel. They want to complain about America. America don't do this, but you see one side is. There's only one that's doing that. It's only one. Now, so many people asked about this. George Santos. George Santos was removed out of Congress. He was removed. He was thrown out. Republicans stood and showed who they were. They stood and showed that they are defenders of what's right. We got principles. We're the Republican Party, and we got principles on principles on principles. Hold up, somebody said something. The men over there blame women for their weak and filthy minds. Yep, that's true. The women over there blame men because they want to rape women. And I want to tell you something. They rape boys, little boys over there too. All them countries that throw men off bridges and throw men off rooftops don't have nothing to say about molesting a little boy. Kind of a little twisted, ain't it? A little twisted in the mind, ain't it? Jeff Goodlock said, yep, swimming lessons in a cage or test your gravity from a tall building. I like that. When I was talking about what happened to gay people in Gaza and Palestine area, Jeff Goodlock says, yep, swimming lessons in a cage or testing gravity from a tall structure. That's what happens. But it's a shame when John Fetterman of all people make more sense than our Republicans. There shouldn't been one Republican who joined that expulsion. We got to show the Democrats the way we have to be. We got to show the Democrats that we Republicans won't have principles. We got principles. We cannot allow this. It is embarrassing. All these Republicans coming on Fox News and talking about why they had to vote to get expelled John Santos. But Fetterman says this.
You might have heard that Congress just expelled George Santos.
Yeah, Santos.
Yeah, and you've also been calling to get rid of Menendez, I know. But first, before we talk about that, what's your reaction to the expulsion?
Well, it's like I'm not surprised, but to me, I think the more important picture is that we have a colleague in the Senate that actually did much more sinister and serious kinds of things. Senator Menendez, he needs to go. And if you are going to expel Santos, how can you allow to somebody like Menendez to remain in the Senate? And Santos's kind of lies were almost funny, and like he landed on the moon and that kind of stuff. Whereas I think Menendez is really a senator for Egypt, not New Jersey. So I really think he needs to go. And especially, it's kind of strange that if Santos is not allowed to remain in the House, someone like that. Yeah.
Are you, though, uncomfortable with the fact that there hasn't been an adjudication, that while he's been charged, there hasn't been a conviction? With Menendez.
I am. And it's like he has the right for his day in court and all that, but he doesn't have the right to have those kind of votes and things that's not a right. And I think we need to make that kind of decision to send him out.
That's embarrassing. Now, if you are feeling like I am right now, I'm about to post a face on Unapologetic Conservative Republican. I'm about to post the emoji. If you feel embarrassed by John Fetterman, got more common sense than Republicans had in the vote, put a sad face. Just put a sad face in the comment section. I'm doing it. I gotta put a sad face because it's embarrassing that John Fetterman got more common sense than what the Republicans had. Why we get rid of it? Well, we got to show the Democrats that we know how to be. We know how to be for, this is how we has to be. I'm sorry. But if you are like me and you are humiliated and embarrassed that John Fetterman got more common sense than those 100 and some Republicans who voted for the expulsion of John Santos, please put a cry in there. Please put a little saddy face in there. Because there is no way John Fetterman should be right. John Fetterman is right. John Santos lied about I'm Jewish. Not Jewish, but Jewish. Jewish, not Jewish, but Jewish. Bro, you ain't no Desert Storm hero. This is the stuff he lied about. If you are a Republican and you feel horrible about this, hey, what's up, Shane? Yes, Shane. Yes, we feel that way about The View, but you got to admit, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put a sad face on Black Southerner too. Yeah, I'm looking. Y'all gonna put y'all sad face up there. I'm gonna put me a sad face up there too. I'm gonna put me a sad face on there too. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go to mine or Jamal. Put a sad. Matter of fact, I'm put sad face everywhere. This don't make no sense. There is no way. There is no way. And for anybody who says, well, we got to show we'll compromise ourselves. No, we won't. As long as if we have a base people that are willing to remind us when we go too far, we're okay. Long as we have people who are willing to remind us, hey, we done went too far. We got to come back. We're not ourselves. But we do got to push against what's going on. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open. This is just how in the world we're going to suspend Santos and Ilhan Omar is still in Congress. How you going to suspend George Santos, Jamal Bowen, good one, rapper 10,000, and hit it again, Jamal Bowen. And y'all remember, if you want to support the page, Jamal, I want to help you. I want to support the page. I want to continue to get a message. If you want to donate now, if you want me to get it right now, you can go to PayPal or Cash App. But if you want to help me and be a continual supporter, if you look down there, if you go to Rumble, you will see the subscribe button. Or you can come over there to Mind of Jamal Live. You can be a donor or you can be a supporter. Those two different levels on Mind of Jamal Live. A donor is $7 a month. A supporter supporter. It's $5 a month. Or you can run over there to Mind of Jamal, Black Southerner. You can be a supporter. Or you can be a supporter or a supporter for $5 a month. So however you want to support the page is fine. But memberships and things like that help spread the message. Because as a membership, this is what I do notice. I notice people with memberships get the notifications as well because they have to honor that. And so if y'all would like to be members and subscribe to the page, just go down there, hit that subscribe or membership button and choose. And I appreciate it. Some you can want to do just $5 a month. That helps. If 30 people do $5 a month, that's good. And hello, Miss Elaine. There you go, Miss Elaine. Y'all, you told me you wanted over there. So, Miss Elaine, right now on Mind of Jamal Live, you got membership and you got super chat. So you can do whichever one you want to do. Miss Elaine over there. But this is embarrassing. He said it beautifully. And he really looked ashamed.
You might have heard that Congress just expelled George Santos.
Yeah, Santos.
Yeah, and you've also been calling to get rid of Menendez, I know. But first, before we talk about that, what's your reaction to the expulsion?
Well, it's like I'm not surprised, but to me, I think the more important picture is that we have a colleague in the Senate that actually did much more sinister and serious kinds of things. Senator Menendez, he needs to go. And if you are going to expel Santos, how can you?
Not one audience member clapped. Usually they're like, yay! Yay! This goes to let you know it's not the Democrat politician only. It's the Democrat supporters. It's not just the Democrat politician. It is also the Democrat supporters. Well, Miss Michelle, if you had a membership or support to either one, that's good. Long if you have one. Look, if you got one, Miss Michelle, I'm grateful. I appreciate it. For everybody that's a member, appreciate it. I appreciate it. But so many of us get lost into, it's the Democrats. It's those Democrats. No, it's Democrat voters. Oh, Jamal, they're low information voters. They don't understand. Yes, they do. No one on this show is clapping and cheering him right now.
In the Senate that actually did much more sinister and serious kinds of things. Senator Menendez, he needs to go. And if you are going to expel Santos, how can you allow to somebody like Menendez to remain in the Senate? And
you know why they don't want Menendez to go? Because he threatens their leadership. If Menendez go, Chuck Schumer is out of the leadership. Hey, Miss Pam Teeter. If Hernandez go, Democrats are out of the leadership. The Arizona Christian Senator, she went independent. She is not a Democrat. So that leaves it 50-50. If Menendez go, that makes might well say Harry Reid, because him and freaking the turtle the same. Mitch McConnell becomes Senate Majority Leader. Nobody is calling for Menendez to step down because it threatens their power. Democrats know how to wield power, and Republicans need to pay attention. It was how long before we won the House? Before Newt Gingrich took the House, how long was it in Democrat control? How long did the Democrats have control of the House of Representatives before Newt Gingrich took control? How long? Wasn't it like 100 years? 50 years? 60 years? I'm asking, how long was it? How long was it before the Republican Party took back the House of Representatives? Mr. Larson says 40 years. 40 years before Republicans took the House. Stacy says too long. Lost it after the Civil Rights Act. Let's see how long before. House Republican Speaker of the House. Republican Speaker of the House before Newt Gingrich. Republican Speaker of the House. Let's see. This is something that's going to tell me. Oh, God, I want to see this crap. Got the support. Oh, God, I can't stand this. Everybody want money. How long? How long of the House? Okay, let's see. Here we go. All the speakers of the House. It's been a lot of them bastards. All right. All right, let's see. 104th was Newt, 1995. What? The last Republican to be Speaker of the House was Joseph W. Martin Jr., 1955. To Newt Gingrich, 1995. No. That's what your so-called principles get you. You get 40 freaking years without a Republican speaker and nothing but Democrat crap forced down your throat. I'm sorry, but this is not acceptable. If this is what, and Democrats stuck together. This is horrible. '88th, 90th, 90. This Democrats. Now I want y'all to pay attention to this. 96th, 97th, 98th, 99th, 100th Congress. Tip O'Neill. Tip O'Neill was the Speaker of the House the whole entire time Ronald Reagan was president. The whole time George Bush was president, Democrats. That's what your so-called principles get you. That's when you forget that we are in a war to win. When you forget we are in this to win this. People forget we are in this to win this.
And, you know, Santos's kind of lies were almost, you know, funny. And, like, you know, he, you know, landed on the moon and that kind of stuff. Whereas, you know, I think, you know, Menendez, I think, is really a senator for Egypt, you know, not New Jersey. So I really think he needs to go. And especially, it's kind of strange that if Santos is not allowed to remain in the House, you know, someone like that. Yeah.
Are you, though, uncomfortable with the fact that there hasn't been an adjudication, that while he's been charged, there hasn't been a conviction?
Menendez.
With Menendez.
I am. And it's like he has the right for his day in court and all that, but he doesn't have the right to have those kind of votes and things that
Yes.
that's not a right. And I think we need to make that kind of decision to.
No, we don't need those 40 years. We don't need them. We do not need to have another 40 years where Republicans don't ever get the Speaker of the House. Got another, well, somebody trying to troll. Got to go to my comment section and get my stuff. Where did I send this to? Oh, Cinema 2. That's what I got to do. Whenever someone tries to troll, I always got something ready for him. Make me feel good. Go back. Screenshots. I'm going to take all that crap off. I really getting tired of it. And I don't ever use those. I'm looking for this picture. Just had to answer this guy back. Oh, I want to thank Tracy. Oh, snap. I would like to thank Tracy Chandler. Tracy Chandler, thank you for your kindness and generosity and donation to the page. YouTube just age restricted my video. YouTube just age restricted my video. Well, I'm not surprised because of that. I'm not surprised because of that. Yeah, I'm not surprised they did that. Yeah, they said they age restricted it. And I'm going to peel it. And see, that's how you do. You have to push back and don't let them age content your stuff. See, whenever Muslims get mad at you, they try to flag your stuff. So, but we shall continue. We shall continue. Let's see. Now we're talking about Derek Chauvin being stabbed in prison. Derek Chauvin was stabbed in prison. He should have never been there in the first place. I do not believe Derek Chauvin should have been in prison. I have always believed Derek Chauvin was innocent. George Floyd died of fentanyl. We found out they lied about his death. And I've never believed that he deserved to be in prison.
New details in the attempted murder of America's most high-profile inmate. Last Friday, Derek Chauvin was shivved 22 times in the library by another inmate. And now we know who the other inmate was. His name is John Turskak. He's 52, and he's already served 27 years of his 30-year sentence. And with 3 years left until freedom, apparently decided, I'm going to murder somebody. Turskak is also a member of the Mexican Mafia. And are you ready? An FBI informant. The complaint says Turskak at first denied wanting to kill Chauvin. And then the complaint says the Mexican Mafia guy waived his Miranda rights when the FBI agent showed up to interview him. First of all, why is the FBI conducting the interview? The FBI only shows up to prison murders as if someone's ordered a hit, or if the perp or the victim was still informing, or all of the above. And why does a guy who knows the criminal justice system waive his Miranda rights? And wait until you hear what the FBI says he confessed to. It's just too perfect. The FBI claims that the Mexican Mafia guy wanted to murder Chauvin on Black Friday to symbolically avenge Black Lives Matter. So let me get this straight. The Mexican Mafia member who poisoned blacks his whole career with drugs and who was incarcerated during the Black Lives Matter movement is a social justice warrior. And anybody who knows anything about prison knows the Mexicans stay with the Mexicans, the blacks stay with the blacks, and the whites stay with the whites. Mexican inmates don't just start murdering white inmates to show solidarity with black inmates. Maybe. But here's what's mysterious. Turskak is listed as white, and the origin of his name is Croatian. Now, how many Croatians do you know in the Mexican Mafia? I didn't know the Mexican Mafia was so diverse. So this woke Croatian Mexican mobster FBI informant has been suddenly moved to a new federal prison. For whose protection exactly? We're not sure. And Turskak's history with the FBI is fascinating. He flipped on the Mexican mob back in the late 90s and helped the FBI lock up more than 40 of his fellow gangsters. He admitted to carrying out a number of crimes while working as an undercover FBI informant, but was furious during his sentencing and told the judge the FBI made him do it. Quote, "I didn't commit those crimes for kicks. I did them because I had to if I wanted to stay alive. I told that to the FBI agents, and they just said, do what you have to do."
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
Now, a lot of that is wrong. I'm sorry. They need to be, that needs to go. Okay. And Google don't have it so you can respond back. You can't respond back. This is the problem. And listen to this. Yes, telling me Facebook has a problem. Yes, I see it's freezing. It's on my end. It's freezing. It's freezing. I'm about to go and put the Rumble link since it wants to do that and go on finish out the show on Rumble because it's streaming. It's messing up when I start getting into YouTube and Google. Google and YouTube are saying that any content, you know, just to let you know what YouTube says is age restricted. They are restricted if the violence appears to be shocking, sensational, or disrespectful manner. It's not considered appropriate. So you can have violence as long as you want to on YouTube, long as they don't consider it inappropriate. Oh, I know this one gonna get done too. Let me go on, start putting it out there so you guys can. Yeah, it's good now. Can go over to Rumble in case it starts flickering out on y'all. Yes, I'm taking calls tonight. Yes, I am. I am taking calls. Whoa. They won't let me post Rumble links no more to YouTube. Hey, somebody try to... What? Oh, hold up. That's mine of Jamal. What the heck? Something is screwy. Yeah, there's some screwy stuff going on. Hold up. Let me get this. All right. Yeah, the chat keeps changing. Yeah, some sort. I don't know. Is President Trump on? All right, let me see something. All right, let me see. Let's see if President Trump is on. Let me check something real quick. Go out of Rumble. Oh, yes, he is. Hold it. Y'all know the rule. When President Trump is on, I move out the way. 31. EQ.
And any goods that you do send in, we're going to tariff you at 100%. So they did virtually no sales of oil, and they were broke. They were broke, and they had no money for Hamas, and they had no money for Hezbollah. They had no money for any of these mini terrorist organizations. Now they're very rich because Biden lifted all of that stuff off. We would have had a deal. If the election weren't rigged, we would have had a deal with Iran within the first week I was back in office. They were ready to make a deal. They were broke. And a Democrat politician last week said on, I think, Deface the Nation, a show called Deface, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump on Deface the Nation. You know, it's sometimes referred to as Face the Nation. I like Deface the Nation better. But it was on that. Another one was on Meet the Press. I call that one Meet the Fake Press. But they said, well, I will admit one thing. Under President Trump, Iran was broke. Because Iran is the problem, because they have all the money. So not only did we give them $6 billion for 5 people, hostages, or whatever you want to call them, that shouldn't have been there, by the way. They shouldn't have been there. But we gave them $6 billion. Think of that. And then we gave them $10 billion for electricity going to Iraq. I don't know if you know about that, but they sold electricity to Iraq, and we gave them 10. So we gave them 16. And everyone says, oh, that's so much. And that's peanuts. We gave them $250 billion in the selling of oil They're selling millions and millions of barrels of oil to China, to India, to all these countries that weren't buying under the Trump administration. Took off all of the sanctions and all of the verbal thrashings that I'd give these people. I said, if you want to do that, you're not going to do any more business in the United States where they make a lot of money. So we had it done. It was a done deal. And then we had the bad results with the election. Horrible, horrible results. What a different country when you think about it. I'm just sitting up here talking to you just like I've got three people in the room. You know, what a terrible thing has happened to our country over an election. Over an election. Think of our country would have been, we would have had no inflation. We wouldn't have had the surrender in Afghanistan, which was probably the worst and most embarrassing day in the history of this country that the fake news doesn't talk about. They never talk about it anymore because they're really bad. They're fake. It's not what they say, it's what they don't say, because what they don't tell you is far worse than what they tell you. But we would have had a much different country. We would have continued to have the greatest economy ever. But we're going to bring it back. I withdrew from the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. That was one of the biggest things I did for Israel, but nothing happened with it because they didn't, when they withdrew, you're supposed to make a deal. They were broke, they withdrew, you were supposed to make a deal. And with the historic Abraham Accords, I even made peace in the Middle East. We're going to have peace in the Middle East. So for 4 straight years, I kept America safe. I kept Israel safe. I kept Ukraine safe. None of this stuff would have happened. And I kept the entire world safe. And we will again as the 47th President of the United States. We'll do it again. Thank you. I'm the only candidate who can make this promise, and this is one of the biggest promises because our country's never been in a situation like this. We have a man that has no clue negotiating with nuclear weapons. I will prevent World War III. I will prevent it. On my first day back in the White House, I will terminate every open borders policy of the Biden administration, stop the invasion on our southern border, and begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. Right? Does anybody want to hear the snake? Do you know what the snake is? Do you want it? Does anybody know what the snake is? It's something, it was a song written many years ago and changed it around a little bit. Should I say it or not? I don't know. Madam Attorney General, should I do the snake? Okay. If the Attorney General wants it, I'm doing it. She's great. So this is really a metaphor. This is a situation that's happening on our border and elsewhere, where we're allowing people to come into our country that are very dangerous. And it's really, I think, perfect. And unfortunately, it's true, because we're waiting for disasters, the likes of which we probably have never seen before. China, just recently, we found out 27,000 people come in, all young men, no wives, family, and children, all young men. What are they, building an army in our country? Other countries from South America, but countries from all over the Middle East are pouring into our country. A lot of bad things are going to happen. A lot of bad things. This is not good stuff. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So remember that when you're hearing these words. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. Poor thing, poor thing, poor thing, she cried. I'll take you in and I'll take care of you. Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, cried the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and soon as she arrived, she found the pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. Take me in, O tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman, cried the vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. "You're so beautiful," she cried. "But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you truly would have died." She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying, "Thank you, ma'am," the snake gave her a vicious bite. "Take me in, O tender woman, take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. "I saved you," cried the woman, "and you've bitten me, but why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die." "Shut up, silly woman," said the reptile with a grin. "You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in." Now that is exactly what's happening to our country. Okay? Exactly. Right? Exactly. Right? Gonna be bad. Gonna be bad. We're going to do a big deportation. We're going to get those bad ones out. Remember, mental institutions, prisons, and terrorists are pouring into our country. We're right now the largest caravan. That was my term, I think. I have a lot of terms, a lot of good terms. But caravan was my term. The largest caravan anyone's ever seen is right now coming up through Mexico. Thousands and thousands of people going to pour right into a country. We have no idea who they are. Bad things are going to happen, very bad. I will immediately restore and expand the Trump travel ban on entry from terror-plagued countries, and I will implement strong ideological screening on all immigrants. We have no choice. If you hate America, if you want to abolish Israel, if you sympathize with jihadists, then we don't want you in our country, and you're not going to come into our country. We will restore law and order to our communities, and we will respect our police again.
To everybody listening to me, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to run over to Mind of Jamal Live and to the latest video I did, Israel women compared to other women. I need for you to go hit like a thumbs up. If you are watching me on Mind of Jamal Live, go to that video and hit thumbs up. If hopefully all you guys, if you're in the chat section, you already have subscribed in, please go to the video. It's called, my video is Israel Women Have Freedom and Can Defend Themselves Against Unfair Treatment. Gaza Women Can't. Please go to that video and like it. Thank you.
Clean it up, renovate it, and rebuild our capital so that it's no longer.
And they're going to be talking. I mean, think about it. He is running for president once again, and we are less than a year to the general election where our country is in
ICE and Border Patrol. I said, give me the 10 weeks. Think of it. Think of it. You go back 3 months, on Monday morning at 7 o'clock.
God, I hate when that happens. Go to Rumble. Go back in.
This trick will save you thousands of dollars on high energy bills. Alarmed by gas shortages and high energy costs?
I will protect Social Security and Medicare for our great seniors. They deserve it. Why are we doing this? There's so many ways we can make money. Drill. Much more money than we're talking about. We drill. Got more liquid gold than anybody in the world. We're also going to fight to give much better health care than what you have right now. This is a newer subject, but Obamacare is a disaster. And I said, we're gonna do something about it. I saved Obamacare when we got John McCain's negative vote. You know, he voted against it after campaigning for many, many years. He said, thumbs down. It was an amazing night. But we're going to fix it because it's a catastrophe for family budgets. Even Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren, have you ever heard of her? Now she's Pocahontas because of her great Indian heritage. She even said that it needs to be fixed. Pocahontas said it has to be fixed, so we're going to fix it. We're in open enrollment. You know, we have an open enrollment season right now on Obamacare. And everybody's seeing how staggeringly and brutally expensive their plans have become, right? They're like crazy what's going on with the plans, the way they're up. They're not affordable. Under this complete and total Democrat-created disaster, a family of four is paying over $1,500 a month for health care plans with a $10,000 deductible. $10,000, you're going to be hit by a truck. That's a big deal. $10,000 deductible. So you get nothing, basically. You're paying into something, you get nothing. A 60-year-old couple is paying $2,000 a month with that big deductible. We're going to make it much less expensive for people. We're going to make it much better care. And we're going to give far more options to American patients. And we're not looking to save. We're looking to help people. You know, they said, I'm going to attack Obamacare. I'm not attacking it. When we had Obamacare, I fixed it and made it work. But I also made the statement, it will never be any good. It will never be any good. And it is no good. We're going to give you great health care. That's what we're going to give you. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender insanity, and other inappropriate racial, sexual, or political content on our children. And I will not give one penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask mandate. And this is one I can't even believe I have to say. I will keep men out of women's sports. Can you believe it? Yeah. I will fully uphold the Second Amendment, and I have done that. I will protect innocent life. We will restore free speech. We do not have free speech. And I will secure our elections. Our goal will be, as I said before, one-day voting with paper ballots and voter ID. It's very simple. And by the way, do you know how much money you save on the machines? You'll be spending 1/10 or less to get better elections, safer elections. But until then, Republicans must win so I can get that job done. If you want to save America from crooked Joe Biden, then get every patriot you know, make sure they're registered Republicans, and get them out to vote their local precinct caucus at 7 p.m. So it's 7 p.m. on Monday, January 15th, Martin Luther King Day, and get out there and do a job. Do a job. You know, if we can get the big numbers, there's nothing they can do. They cheat, and they're always going to cheat. We're going to try and keep it down to a minimum. They cheat like hell. That's all they know how to do. That's the only thing they do well. Their policies are, who the hell wants open borders, high taxes, high interest rates, can't buy a home, bad education? There's not a thing they do that's, how can you win elections like that? You know how? By cheating. That's what they have to do. And they cheat, and they don't care, and they don't care how many times you vote. Vote as many times as you can. Where Republicans say, sir, I'm an American citizen. I can only vote once. You know, that's the way it is. And there's something nice about that. But what they do in elections should never, ever have happened. We are asking you to commit to caucus for us and bring as many people as you can to caucus for the campaign. Sign up at ia.donaldjtrump.com. So in conclusion, together we're taking on some of the most menacing forces and vicious opponents our people have ever seen. No matter how hateful and corrupt the communists and criminals we're fighting against may be, you must never forget that our nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you, front row Joes. This is your home. This is your heritage. And our American liberty is your God-given right. And we love that you're here. You know, we're going to go out after this is over. You have plenty of time, and we're going to see a game against a place called Michigan. You're going to be watching that? So good luck. That'll be good. But in the meantime, as important as that is, this is more important because we're going to save our country. We're going to save our country. This is our last chance. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the oceans and blazed the trails, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, dug out the great Panama Canal, raised up the skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and launched our brave American astronauts to plant the stars and stripes on the face of the moon. What we've done is so incredible. And now we have a horrible situation going on, an embarrassment. Our country's become an embarrassment.
Or would you rather me get
Together
off?
they made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world.
Because I'm watching it here.
World. Think of that. Think of that. But now, we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in 50 years, where banks are collapsing and interest rates are skyrocketing. Likewise, we are a nation where energy costs have reached the highest in history. We are no longer energy independent or energy dominant as we were just 3 short years ago. We are a nation that is begging Venezuela and many others for oil. Please, 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 Joe Biden says, please help us, please, please. And yet we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country anywhere in the world. We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will be reducing their output of oil and substantially increasing the price, and met that threat by announcing that we will no longer be drilling for oil in large areas of Alaska and other parts of our country. We are a nation that is consumed by the radical left's Green New Deal, yet everyone knows that the Green New Deal is fake and will lead to our destruction. We are a nation whose leaders are demanding all electric cars, despite the fact that they can't go far, cost too much, and whose batteries are produced in China with materials only available in China, when an unlimited amount of gasoline is available inexpensively in the United States, but it is not available in China. And now we are a nation that wants to make our revered army tanks, they are revered, they're the best in the world, they want to make them all electric, so that despite the fact that they are also not able to go far, fewer pollutants will be released into the air as we blast our way through the enemy territory. And they also want to make our jet fighters with a green energy stamp, losing 15% efficiency, but allowing us to keep our enemy's atmosphere clean of pollutants while we viciously and unceremoniously attack them at levels no one's ever seen before. We are a nation that ended oil exploration and production in the United States just as the price of oil reached an all-time high. What other country would do such a foolish and self-destructive thing? We are a nation that surrendered in Afghanistan, leaving behind dead soldiers, American citizens, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment in the world, and also leaving behind Bagram, one of the biggest military bases in the world, and only 1 hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons. Why, oh why, oh why? And we are a nation that allowed Russia to devastate Ukraine, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse. It would never have happened with me as your president, and for 4 straight years it didn't happen. Likewise, the recent attack on Israel would never have happened. They wouldn't even have thought of doing what they did. Iran was broke under the Trump administration. They didn't have the money to fund Hamas and Hezbollah. They didn't have the money to fund themselves. They were going to make a deal, and it was going to be a great deal for us, and it was going to keep the world safe. But those sanctions were lifted, and now Iran is a rich country with $200 billion and another $6 billion for hostages and $10 billion for electricity from Iraq. All compliments of the Biden administration. And China, with Taiwan, is next. We are a nation that allows the radical left to violently attack our cities, leaving behind massive destruction and death, and nothing happens to them. There is no punishment. But when people who love our country protest in Washington, they become hostages, unfairly imprisoned for long portions of their life. We are a nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against the opposing political party like never before seen. We've got a Federal Bureau of Investigation that won't allow bad election-changing facts to be presented to the public, and which offers $1 million to a writer of fiction about Donald Trump to lie and say it was fact, where Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was Russian disinformation, and the FBI knew it wasn't, but 51 intelligence agents said it was, and a Department of Justice that refuses to investigate egregious acts of voting irregularities and fraud. And we have a man who is totally corrupt and the worst president in the history of our country, who is cognitively impaired and in no condition to lead, and is now in charge of dealing with Russia and possible nuclear war, which would be World War III and far more devastating than any of the previous wars because of the weaponry that no one even wants to think or talk about. We are a nation that no longer has a free and fair press. Fake news is all you get, and they are indeed the enemy of the people. They refuse to discuss the Biden crime family, but enjoy covering false indictments of Donald Trump, who has done nothing wrong. We are a nation where free speech is no longer allowed and where crime is rampant and out of control like never before. We are a nation that is allowing Iran to build a massive nuclear weapon and China to use the trillions of dollars it has taken from us to build a military to rival its own. What a sad state of affairs. And less than 3 years ago, just think of it, we had Iran, China, Russia, and North Korea in check. They weren't going to do a thing against us, and everyone knows it. They respected us like they never respected anybody before. Now Russia and China are holding summits to carve up the world. And perhaps most importantly, we are a nation that is no longer respected or listened to on the world stage. We are a nation that in many ways has become a complete and total joke. And we are a nation that is hostile to liberty, freedom, and faith. We are a nation whose economy is collapsing into a cesspool of ruin, whose supply chain is broken, whose stores are not stocked, whose deliveries are not coming, and whose educational system is ranked at the bottom of every single list. We are a nation where large packs of sadistic criminals and thieves are allowed to go into stores and openly rob them, beat up and kill their workers and customers, and leave with armloads of goods but no retribution, where the authority of our great police has been taken from us, taken from our country, where their families and pensions have been threatened and their lives would be destroyed for the mere mention of the words law enforcement. We are a nation where fentanyl and all other forms of illegal drugs are easier to get than formula for our beautiful little babies. and a nation whose once revered airports are a dirty, crowded mess. Yet you sit and wait for hours and then are notified that the planes won't leave. They just won't leave. And they have no idea when they will. They have no idea. Where ticket prices have tripled, they don't have the pilots to fly the planes, they don't have qualified air traffic controllers, and they just don't know what they're doing. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, willpower, and strength. We are a nation that has lost its way, but we are not going to allow this horror to continue. 3 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country, and it is hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. We will fight for America like no one has ever fought before. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists. We will throw off the sick political caste. And we will rout the fake news media. We will drain the swamp. And we will liberate our country from these tyrants and villains once and for all.
No, I'm looking at Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer's an idiot. Laura Loomer is an idiot.
Like those patriots before us, we will not bend. We will not break. We will not yield. We will never give in, we will never give up, and we will never, ever back down. With your support, we will go on to victory, the likes of which no one has ever seen before. We will evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House, and we will take back our country on Election Day 2024. The great silent majority is rising like never before, and under our leadership, the forgotten men and women will be forgotten no longer. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much, Iowa. God bless you. God bless you, Iowa. Thank you. God bless you all.
Yeah. Laura Loomer's a freaking idiot. Okay, I understand that we're in the middle of a heated primary, okay? I understand we are in a primary. And yes, being we are in a primary, the heck? Why is everything crossing over? Yes, we are in a primary. Yes, we want President Trump to win. But this destroy Florida crap is stupid. According to the search warrant I obtained that was issued for the cell phone of Google Drive Florida GOP chairman Chris Zillinger, the officer who filled out the report said law prohibiting sexual battery of mentally incapacitated woman controlled by Florida state statute has been violated, and the officer has reason to believe and does believe the evidence connected with the crime is currently located within the law. This is confirmation that police believe Christian Ziegler did in fact rape the woman who was accused him of rape. The police believe he filmed it and deleted off Google Drive. Why is she going after Republicans everywhere? This woman is stupid. This woman is stupid. She's an idiot. This is stupid. I don't get it. She's trying to destroy people who support Ron DeSantis. Do she know these people have to run for re-election just because they support Ron DeSantis over President Trump? She's stupid. This is dumb. I am so glad I don't support some of these people. I'm glad I don't support some of these people. I'm serious. I'm glad. I'm glad I don't I don't listen to them. I'm glad. She's trying. I'm not doing this. Am I following you? Unfollow. No. 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 That's crazy. Why are you? No, look. Yeah, she is. I see Miss Minnie World while you called her Lori Looney Tunes. Yeah, she's out there. I mean, this woman's crazy. I'm like, what? Why are you going? Why? You don't like Ron DeSantis? Okay, fine. Guess what? It's a primary. Okay, let me say this. Some people on Trump's side, some people on our side, the MAGA side, goes overboard, okay? Some people on our side really goes overboard. Some people on our side go overboard. I'm talking Trump support. I mean MAGA. God, I'm sick of some of y'all. Some of them. I mean, this woman's she's claiming that the speaker, the head of the Florida GOP, raped somebody. I'm like, what? But y'all, let's continue with the show. You know what? It's almost 6 o'clock, and I know Mr. Larson got to catch a game. It's been 2 hours streaming. Some people are just really bonkers on our side. Let me see, is anybody online before I hang up? Because I'm about to hang up. I'm about to hang up, and we're about to go. Nope, nobody's on. All right, yeah. Let's go on over to Rumble real quick, because I know YouTube is going to flag it. Go on over to Rumble. And before y'all go, if you are on Mind of Jamal Live or Mind of Jamal Black Southerner, please think about being a subscriber. If you're on Mind of Jamal Live, you can subscribe for $7 a month as a donor or $5 a month as a supporter. If you are on, I may go on and do the same and change it up for Mind of Jamal Black Southerner, add the $7 one, so people who want to join. But for those, like I say, for those who Jamal, this one person, they do the $7-8 a month. Well, go on to put it in membership. Let me get that membership up. I would love to have more members. I'll be honest. For those who like Jamal, hear a little bit, just do the membership and call it and worry about yourself. Some people, Jamal, only got 10 a month. Do 5 and keep the other 5 in your pocket. Okay? But if you would like to donate or give to the page and support the page, please, you can go to Facebook, PayPal, or Cash App, or you can do the membership if you are on Rumble, Live, Mind of Jamal Live, Mind of Jamal Black Southern. Heavenly Father, we come unto you to pray as we lay down, and some of us go watch football games, and some of us are going to spend time with family. Right now, Lord Jesus, I ask for forgiveness of all our sins and iniquity. Lord Jesus, protect us all as we go about this day and enjoy the rest of our Saturday. Lord Jesus, we praise you. We thank you. Some of us, Lord Jesus, will travel over dangerous highways and byways to celebrate you, to listen to your word, and get a better understanding. We thank you, Lord Jesus, and we bless you. We ask you to continue to bless us. We praise your name. We praise your name, Lord Jesus. For every man that's under the sound of my voice, for every woman under the sound of my voice, every grandparent, I pray that you have a safe Saturday. For all the husbands under the sound of my voice, I pray for your wife and children. I pray that they be safe. For all the wives just watching me right now, I pray for their husbands and children. I pray that your husbands and children are safe. And for the grandparents, you know you love your grandchildren. I pray for your grandchildren and your children. As for me, I pray for my wife and children. Keep my wife and children safe as we travel up and down these dangerous highways and byways. Keep us safe till we head back to our next destination, home tomorrow. Church and back home. In Jesus Christ's name I do pray. Amen. All right, y'all. It's time to go. It's time to go over to Rumble. I'm not going to be over to Rumble real late because it's almost 1800. But we are going over to Rumble. Dang, that's almost 3 hours. How many of y'all going over to Rumble? Because, yeah, that's almost 3 hours show. That's almost, yeah, I'm trying to think. All right, in the comment section, Rumble. In the comment section, Rumble. Do y'all want to go on and log off, or do you want to stay on? I'm looking at you, Rumble. Stay on or log off. And right, stay on or log off. Cause Rumble Rebels always, people want to know, yeah, my Rumble Rebels. It's up to you. I didn't ask for that. Okay. All right, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble. YouTube, Facebook. See y'all tomorrow. Let's head to Rumble.